that the Telecom Commission has refused to budge and has proposed an additional 3% spectrum usage charge. If accepted, this proposal will burn the pockets of the telecom companies already debt-laden. And Prerna Baruah is right here with all the highlights of that development. Take us through that, Prerna. Good to have you on the show. And how will it really impact the telecom operators in the country which have huge amount of debt?
Well, Nisha, BWA holders like Reliance Jio, Airtel and Aircel. So let me just break down this to you. So Reliance Jio, who, currently pays 1% spectrum usage charges. So with the, Telecom Commission's earlier recommendations, which was, as regards to the weighted average method for calculating the SUC, they would have to pay 2.88%. But today at the Telecom Commission meeting, they have proposed an additional store of 3% annual spectrum charge, which essentially means that Reliance Jio will have to pay a minimum of 3% SUC, across their entire spectrum holdings. And of course, even for Airtel, they will have to pay 3.80%. Of course, the floor price of 3% will not apply because anyways, the weighted average method would lead to a SUC of 3.8%. For Aircel, yes, from 2.83% according to its earlier proposal. Now, after the floor price has been introduced, they will have to pay a minimum 3%. So what the Telecom Commission says is that this move is essentially to, move towards TRAI's proposal of moving towards a 3% flat spectrum usage charges. And this introduction of floor price will move towards uniform price for spectrum usage charges in the coming year. So clearly, players like Reliance Jio and Airtel will have to pay a little bit more than they were required to pay earlier. For Airtel, they will pay, the existing 3.8%. Back to you.
But Prerna, hang in there. Talk to us about how the industry is really reacting to this, because already the margins are wafer thin. There is just a lot of competition. There is expensive spectrum auctions that is coming up, and there is launch to intensify competition in the midst of debt-laden sector, which has been because it's capital intensive in nature. So have you heard from any of the industry players or industry body on how they are reacting to this?
Well, we could not get any reactions immediately, but as far our, talks earlier, they have been wanting for, moving towards a flat SUC. So they did not really bother whether it was a 3% or a 4% or a 4.5%. But what they wanted is that, remove the confusion of paying different SUC for different bands. For 2300, it's 1%. For, 2500 megahertz, it could be a different SUC. So they were wanting that the government takes a call on this and move towards a flat SUC. So they were really hoping for that TRAI's recommendations of moving towards a flat 3% SUC were taken into consideration. So it seems that, this move, would be, taken well in the industry as well.
All right. For the benefit of our viewers, floor price